This is the last of my California Dreamin' series. Hey guys, this is Andy with Mindset Matters More. And so the weekend that I went to California, there was this wonderful person named Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you know who that is, but he gave a nice little talk about manifesting. And one of the quotes that he had to me was so freaking powerful that I want to share that with you guys. And he says, if knowledge is power, then self-knowledge is self-empowerment. Let me say that again, y'all, okay? If knowledge is power, then self-knowledge is self-empowerment. Okay? Now, I am a big believer in knowledge is power. I love learning. I love reading. I love podcasts. I love documentaries. I love, courses. I love like school. Like I'm somebody who very much am like, I like to soak up all the information. Like that's just how I live and experience life is through teachers and through gurus and people who just have knowledge. Like I just want to know more and more and more. Give me all the info. Give me the 411 on everything, right? And so, as long as I've been on this spiritual journey for myself, as long as I have been on this uncovering of myself, there is this huge truth in the self-knowledge is self-empowerment. Because now that you're armed with the knowledge, now that you know that this is happening within you, you can no longer turn away from that truth. You can no longer not face the truth anymore. You cannot deny that this is happening. So, if you followed any of my YouTube series on the book called Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer, one of the pieces that he talks about is the fact that like once you like become self-aware, you can no longer not be self-aware anymore. Once you've had your mind blown wide open and realize that you are an eternal being, like once you've become aware that you are just consciousness in a meat sack. Like once you become aware that we are all stardust, like once that happens, you cannot unsee that. You can, and the other piece to that, and this is what I was talking about on my YouTube channel, was that like, yeah, you can't turn that off anymore, but you also can't force other people to turn that on. Like you cannot force other people to come to realization and self-empowerment. Like that just does not happen. They have to come to it to them by themselves through whatever means necessary, right? But the other part of self-knowledge and self-empowerment is that it's not just having the knowledge. Because one of the problems that like self-knowledge does is that now that you can't turn it off, you're gonna be uncomfortable for the rest of your fucking life unless you do something about it. Because now that you know, holy shit, the problem is me, now you cannot blame anybody else. Now you cannot blame external circumstances. Now you cannot blame your past. Now you cannot blame your future. Now you can, the only thing that you can blame is right here, right now, you yourself and me, myself, and I. That right there will make you so fucking uncomfortable if you're not doing anything about it. So, yes, self-knowledge is self-empowerment, 1,000%. That clicks. But then what do you do with that? What is you're now empowered. You have the power. You have filled up your cup of power. Your batteries are charged. So what does that mean? Well, now you got to do something with it. Now you got to do something with it. You got to do the shadow work. You got to do the praying, meditation, journaling, go to yoga, go to the gym, do the thing, start the business, talk to your husband, talk to your spouse, do what you got to do. Because now that you have all this power within you, now that you know that the power resides within you to fix your circumstances, to change your circumstances, now you have to do something about it. So yeah, self empowering journeys fucking suck in that regard because they say ignorance is bliss. because it's so easy to just live in this bliss of like, it's this, none of this is my fault. Everybody else is the one that's at fault. I'm just living life and everything is just happening to me. I mean, but that's a painful existence ultimately because you're never going to get to happiness and joy and love, but it's bliss because you can blame everything else. Once you turn that mirror on you and you're like, yeah, this shit's my fault. I can do something about it. I got to change my perspective. I got to change my habits. I got to change the way I live. What? And people are like, when you're still in ignorance, when you're still real they believing that other people are at fault for your circumstances, whether it's your parents, your spouse, your coworkers, whoever the fuck, whatever circumstance that happened to you in the past, where you live, what you eat, like what if everything around you is what is forcing you to move. Actually, I forget where the hell I was going with this. But, that's a painful experience because you're just kind of being knocked around by life. You're kind of just like sitting there allowing the world to manipulate you and you have no power. So yeah, it's bliss in the sense that like you don't have to do anything because everything's just happening to you. But when you decide to change, when you decide to actually look at what's happening to you. Oh, I know. Now I remember what I was gonna say. That was a whole bunch of me just filibustering till I could figure it out. Well, the point is that once you decide that it's time for you to change, and you have the idea like, why do I have to change? Why me? Why not everybody else? Why can't everybody else change? Why do I have to be the one responsible for the change? And I see this a lot in relationships where you get into a relationship with somebody who isn't kind, who lies, who cheats, who's something like, it's like, why do I have to change? Why are they not the ones that are supposed to change? The onus is on you. The responsibility goes to you once you start to realize that you are responsible for your situation. You stay with that person. You stay in that situation. Oh, you haven't lost weight. You decided to eat the food. You decided to buy the snacks. You decided. And there's a whole bunch of work that needs to be done 100%, that it's not that easy to just stop those things. But it's on you to start doing the shadow work. It's on you to start digging in there and figuring out, why the fuck am I still doing this? Why the fuck is this like not working out for me? Why do I keep running into the same patterns over and over again? So then you get the self-empowerment and then you can do something about it, because nobody's going to change your life. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to like feed you. Nobody's coming to fix your relationship. Nobody's coming to fix you. And not that you're broken, because you're not broken, but and it yeah, once you realize that the power is within you, yeah, you're the one responsible to do the stuff, which ultimately sucks. But once you're like, hey, okay, I can do something about this, I can change this, done. You will never know the amount of happiness that I have felt over the past few years by changing the person and thought patterns and habits that I used to have. I used to think that it was so cool to be drinking 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. I used to think I was the shit. Oh, but why couldn't I keep a man? Why were they turning my lights off every other month? Why was my job, not really happy with the quality of my work? What was it about me that I couldn't do anything? I thought I was happy. I had friends. I had, just all these parties and social events to go to. But, when I got sober, I realized all that other shit was falling to pieces because of my actions, my behaviors, my thought patterns. And yeah, I had to change. My boss wasn't supposed to allow me just to be all fucked. Like, how dare they ask me to work? Like, that was really how I thought. Like, I really had to show up to work. Like, yes, I need to see that this person is not treating me well and set boundaries for myself and move the fuck on. they might love me, but they treat me like shit and I need to move the fuck on. Yeah, okay, I'm eating really well and I got food, but yeah, I'm the one who's choosing to eat a fucking sleeve of Oreos in the middle of the night and drinking a bottle of wine. Like, yes, I'm the one making the decisions. So, yes, it's time for some self-knowledge and some self-empowerment and action. Okay, guys, that's it for me today. Love you guys. Bye.